Hello and welcome to another episode of Matt Loves Cameras on YouTube and on the podcast. And today, my guest is someone I've been trying to pin down for a few months now. It is Molly Kate, also known as Eclectachrome. How are you, Molly?
I'm doing really, really good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So Molly is joining us from New England. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Back in New England, back
Excellent.
home.
Excellent. So Molly is, I'm sure a lot of people already know who Molly is, but Molly is a photographer, very good photographer, a writer for 35 MMC, and Molly has a banging YouTube channel that is closing in on 4,000 subscriptions. So Molly, what else can you tell us about yourself that I haven't covered just there in that small intro?
Oh gosh. um. Oh my God. Well, okay. So I spent. I don't even know what else to say, Matt. That's
That's
it.
all right.
That's all there is to me.
That's all. That's all you want to say. We, we,
Not
we
not a
can
very complicated.
we can peel away the layers like onions as we go through this, right? So yeah, I think I've
Yeah.
covered the
Yeah.
main
That's true.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, excellent. So what we'll do now is we're going to talk about the desert island cameras concept, which I did with Theo was the guinea pig, and I've actually written down the rules in a much better way now to explain them to people because we were talking in the pre-show chat, and I feel like I didn't explain the rules of the whole concept. So here it is. I'll explain the rules again. So this is called Desert Island Cameras. It's a ripoff of the long-running BBC radio show Desert Island Discs. And here are the rules for Desert Island cameras. You can bring 10 items to the island. The first 8 items have to be cameras or films. So you can choose 4 cameras and 4 films, or 7 cameras and 1 film, or 1 camera and 7 films. Any combination, but it's up to you. However, there are a couple of catches. The first catch is for every camera you bring, you have to bring film for it. So if you bring an SX70 Polaroid camera, you've got to bring the SX70 film. And this other catch is you have to have owned or used all of the cameras. So you can't just say, oh, I really have always wanted to use a XYZ camera. You have to have owned or used it. And then the 9th item is your favorite photography related book. And then the 10th item is for a luxury photography item not covered by any of the above. So how did you find this assignment that I gave you, Molly, in your busy life?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well. Okay. I mean, it was really hard. But I will say the hardest one for me was the luxury item.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know any
No,
luxury items.
I can't think of any either off the top of my head. So
So
yeah.
actually, but I think I have a pretty, I don't know, I kind of found it today actually. So I don't know if it's breaking the rules because I'm not sure if it was something that I was supposed to own or have.
Yeah, there's a bit of a grey area because Theo chose a box of Aerochrome, which he's never owned or used. So maybe for the luxury item, you're allowed to, yeah,
Allowed
it's
to
a,
branch out.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that's
All
acceptable.
right,
Yeah,
cool. All right,
cool.
cool.
So do you want to crack off with your first item here? What was your
Yes,
first
I'm
item?
so excited. Okay, because this one is also a new addition to the Eclectachrome collection.
Yep.
So this is the Rolleiflex MX.
Oh, wow, very nice. So
Yeah.
explain this model to me. I do have a Rolleiflex. I've got a Rolleiflex T, which is like the intermediate model between the high-end Rolleiflexes and the Rolleicords, which are the more basic ones. So this is a
Yes.
Rolleiflex MX, did you say?
Yeah, so this is more on the basic side of things.
Yep.
So this is, and I think it's actually, so I did some research on this camera when I was looking at like different models and getting it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's also called the Rolleiflex MX EVS, maybe.
Yeah.
So that the place that I got this from, it was just listed as a Rolleiflex MX, but I can't find any reviews on an MX only. So I
Interesting.
think it's also an EVS. So,
Yeah. Excellent.
so this is yeah. So this is the 3.5
Yeah.
f3.5 lens, and
Yeah.
it's not the fancy one. It's the Schneider Kreuznach. Oh, the Xenar lens.
Zenar,
Yeah,
yeah. Zenar, yeah.
Xenar.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I'm holding it
I think
in
they,
front
I
of
mean,
the camera.
I think
Okay.
they're all good lenses on the rollies, though. I mean,
Oh,
mine's got a
they're all awesome.
Tessar. Mine's got a 3.5 Tessar, which I know isn't
Yeah.
the really, really fancy schmancy ones, but like they take great pictures, right?
Yeah. I mean, but the Tessar one is still really good. They all take really great
Yeah.
pictures. Like, and this one, I mean, you probably could distinguish it from the 2.8 if you were like looking super close and like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
familiar with it.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. Anyone else, like,
You're a
I wouldn't
grain
be able to
keeper.
tell.
Yeah, it's same. And what's your relationship with TLRs? Because I've had one ever since I bought one just before my daughter was born. So I've had it 50, almost 16 years. I've had it 16 years. I bought it in the UK. I
Oh,
bought it from the
wow, yeah.
original owner, and I had a
Oh,
guy in
cool.
England do a CLA on it. And the guy in England, I said, this is back in the old days. I bought this off eBay, and everyone on these forums on it, because there was no like Facebook groups back then, and all these
Matt,
people on
you're
the
dating
forums.
yourself.
I'm dating myself.
You're dating yourself. You're
Oh,
giving away your
I'm
age.
old. I'm old, Molly. I've got a big birthday coming up this year. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but
No, 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 no.
it has
No big birth.
it
No.
has a 5 in front of it though. It's a bit scary.
No way.
Yeah. So I bought this Rolleiflex off eBay, and back in the old days, people said I'll send it to this guy down in he was down in Hampshire or somewhere in the south of England, and
Yeah.
so I bought this thing off eBay for 300 quid. And I just posted it to some random I didn't know, and there's no. But he sent it back and he said, "This is a beautiful Rolleiflex. It's only, take care of it." And I've used it like 3 times because I've never, I don't know. I think I've got to get used to the whole looking through the
Mm.
TLR. What's your experience with doing that? Have you got a lot of experience doing it or?
I mean, not massive amounts. So when I first moved to the UK,
Yeah.
well, actually, maybe a year afterwards, maybe like 2021, maybe. So, okay. So, all right. So it all started with Vivian Meyer, of course.
Yeah.
she's my inspiration,
Yeah.
and so I wanted I wanted to look like her, basically. So,
Yeah. Why not?
yeah, and I always liked them. But my first ever one I got, it was a Yashica Mat 124G,
Nice.
which is an awesome camera. But I walked into my local camera store, total impulse buy, knew nothing about TLRs, did
Yeah.
no research,
Yeah.
and then like oversold me. I overpaid by like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And then I looked on eBay afterwards, which never do that if you don't do
Yeah.
any research. So I kind of had this. It was an awesome camera, and it took me a while to get used to it, like because everything's kind of like
Yeah.
wonky and backwards, right? Like through the viewing screen.
Yep.
But then after a while of using it's a great camera, but I was like, this has bad vibes because I got ripped off.
Yeah. So
So I
I
actually ended
you
up
felt
like,
like you resented the camera or?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I ended up selling it,
Yep.
and then I got a Seagull TLR
Oh yeah.
from
Chinese one.
West Yorkshire Cameras. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Which awesome. West Yorkshire Cameras in the UK, it's such a good place to get cameras. So I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I never would have wanted a different one, except it kind of broke,
Yeah.
which was really sad.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, I need a replacement. And I always kind of wanted to see if I could get a Rolleiflex for like a good deal, or like a cheap one. So then I got this one when I got back to the US.
Awesome.
And
Fantastic.
yeah,
Have you shot many like test rolls through it so far or?
yeah. So actually, I've only had it for maybe like a couple months, and I think
Yeah.
I've done maybe like 8 to 10 rolls. I
Nice.
have a few that are unprocessed that I need to develop, but
Yeah.
yeah, and it's great. So the only thing about it though is that the focusing screen is really dim.
Yeah.
That's the only negative thing. Everything else is awesome. Like the lens is awesome,
Yeah.
and actually like the quality of the pieces. Like going from like, I mean, the Seagull's a great camera, but going from the Seagull to the Rolleiflex is definitely like
Step
a
up.
step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it just feels so nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
I
love it.
still
I love
have
it.
pictures of when I first got this camera. I did a test roll, and then I did a few test rolls. I used to shoot slide film in 120, and I
Oh,
have these
cool.
pictures somewhere on disc in here of my wife and my daughter in England when she was really small, and these beautiful pictures. And they they look sort of 3D. The mistake I
Mm,
think I made with the Rolleiflex when I got it was I used to shoot. Everyone, a lot of people these days shoot very shallow depth of field,
yeah.
and so I was putting that thing on the 3.5 or whatever it was, the most
Yeah.
shallowest depth of
Yeah.
field. And I think I was expecting to nail focus all the time on that screen. And it's
Mm.
actually, I found out the
Oh,
hard way, actually
yes.
really hard. Yep.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when I do get it back out, I think I'll be shooting f8 or something like that and make sure
Yeah.
everything's in focus. So, but no, it's a wonderful camera. And yeah, I have been thinking lately I need to get my Rolly back out. So that's a great first choice, the Rolleiflex MX.
Yeah, get it back out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and life is more beautiful through the view of a waist level
That's
viewfinder.
true. That's true.
So,
Do you have any of those like Nikons where you can do that? Look down through the viewfinder?
um, yeah, so I used to. I
Yeah.
used to have a Nikon F3 or
Nice.
Nikon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nikon.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back in America, so
You gotta adopt the
the
American
American's
way of,
coming back to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, so the F3. But what I found with that one is that it's so small.
Yeah.
For me, it was really hard to kind of see the focus with
Yeah.
that.
It's
So
a good
yeah.
thing for TikTok and for reels and stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
To have a lot of people do that, but actual use. It's like those ones.
Impractical. Yeah.
I did a video like with the point and shoots with the little viewfinders, but I mean, they're
Oh
kind of,
yeah.
they're a fun gimmick, but they're kind of, the
Yeah.
Canon one I have is pretty useless. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you've got like a magnifying glass or something like
yes,
that. I
and
don't
with
know.
these Coke bottle glasses, there's absolutely no chance of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Those
what's
are fun
number?
though.
It is very fun, yeah. So what's number two on your desert island camera
Okay.
list?
All right. So number 2 and 3 are actually films
Ah,
for the
excellent.
Rolleiflex.
Mm,
Okay. So I felt a little like colorful with the
yeah,
whole like desert island. Um, hopefully there's good weather. I'm assuming there's good weather
let's hope
there. So,
so. Yeah.
so I'm gonna bring lomography purple and
Ooh.
turquoise.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah,
fantastic. Yeah, brilliant.
yep,
It's
yep,
great. And so, which one of those two would be your favorites? I mean, you can bring, yeah, you can definitely bring both to the desert island. But if someone said to
yeah.
you right now, I mean, you've got a purple background going on there, Molly. But which
It's
one
gotta
would
be
be
purple.
your? So purple is your choice, do you think? Or
Yeah, I think it would definitely be purple.
yeah.
Yeah,
And what about it?
yep.
Do you kind of love so much?
So I mean, okay, turquoise is awesome, um, but there's not much that's. I mean, I definitely like the purple colors better.
Yeah,
But what I also like about purple is that if you shoot it with like fall colors, autumn colors,
yeah,
I so I can't remember. So okay, so greens go purple, right?
yeah. I can't remember now.
I'm trying
Um,
to I'm trying to remember my images, but
I
I
remember
think
I wrote it in a review. I wrote, I did a review on it, and I wrote all this stuff down, but I'm trying to actually kind of remember myself. So blue becomes, so this is according to their website, blue becomes green. Oh man,
yeah,
I'll have to cut this bit out, Molly. So my faffing around. Here we go. To quote lomography, blue becomes green, green becomes purple, and yellow becomes pink.
yeah.
Red tones stay red.
Yep. Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember the color stuff, but I like that some colors stay the same
Yeah,
and then others change. So you can really get creative with um like shots and like I mean if you wanted to do something and make it basically like all pink, you could. Or
yeah,
if you wanted to have like just different it's very like psychedelic almost.
yeah.
So it's just a lot of fun. I just really like the color changes and it's
For,
very different than yeah.
for sure. And I'm just looking at my review here on my website, and I took one at the beach, one of the local beaches. So this is going into the desert island thing, and the like the goldeny sort of sands become very pink, like gold, pink
Yeah.
hued, and the sky has gone from blue to sort of turquoisey teal. So yeah, it does definitely. I think it would make for a great film to take to a desert island. So,
Yeah, definitely.
and
Yeah,
what about,
just a bit of fun.
yeah? And what about turquoise? What's your sort of your shooting plan with that on the desert island?
Well, so I did a turquoise review on my channel, and I found my favorite photos were, I mean, when it's, I mean, most film works really well when it's like super bright out and super sunny. But my favorite photos were like clear blue sky,
Yeah,
and then like just like tan, like was it neutral colors or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yep,
Um, and the greens as well look really nice because I shot a bunch of like green bushes on
yep,
that, and it's just, so I'm just picturing like desert island like that. I feel like that's a perfect place to shoot
yeah,
like both turquoise and purple. But I
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
Excellent. Yeah, I think with turquoise, I don't think I like it as much as purple, but I remember some of the
yeah.
landscape pictures I took of the coast here in Queensland, and yeah, some of them were like, wow, these look great. Like just the, the waves and the beach and the rocks and the trees, and yeah. So I must admit, I haven't shot. I think I've still got a couple of rolls left, but I didn't shoot it as much as purple. But again, every time I talk to people and talk about different cameras and films, I get back into this. Oh, I need to get that back out,
Get
or
it
yeah,
out, yeah.
yeah, that's right. Not enough
Yeah.
cameras and film and time, is there, to
Not
do it
enough
all?
time, not enough
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So, what's your number 4 on your list, Molly?
Okay, so I have to, all right, so I've got my list on my phone, so I have to make sure I'm going in the right order. Oh wait, okay, I know what it is. All right, so I don't have a show and tell for this,
That's all right.
um, but it is a camera that I used to have.
Yeah.
So it's a Minolta Weathermatic
Oh,
35 millimeter version.
yes. Nice
And I
yellow camera.
also, yeah, yes, bright yellow,
Yeah.
so you won't lose it in the water.
Yeah.
Waterproof, as long as it's not too old and the seals are still in good shape. But it's, yeah, and it takes awesome pictures too.
Is
Even
it
just
from
like,
memory? Does
yeah.
it have two lenses on it, like one that goes in and out, or
Oh
not? Is there only a single one?
no, I think it's just a
I
fixed
must be
one.
confusing it with another camera. I've always wanted that one. I bought one once from a guy at a garage sale, and it was full of rust and fungus and stuff. So tell
Uh,
me about yours. What happened to yours? Why you don't have it anymore?
well, I think I just didn't use it.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was living in the UK, so I
You did a
got it.
review around Cardiff. Didn't you walk around Cardiff in the rain taking photos with it?
Okay, so that was the 110 version.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right. Sorry.
So when I was making the list, I was like, "Ooh, do I bring 110 or 35 millimeter?"
Yeah,
But I ended up going with a 35 millimeter because you can get more shots and more crispy shots.
yeah,
Not that I necessarily go for crispy photos because I do
yeah,
like some like lo-fi stuff.
yeah.
But but yeah, I ended up going with the 35. But yeah, the 110 is awesome too. And like, yeah, I walked around in the rain, and that was so much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a pretty rainy place,
yeah.
Wales.
It's good to have
So
a waterproof camera.
yeah, yeah, but I didn't end up using the 35 when I
Mm,
had it. So I was like, and sometimes I go into like a purge mode, and I'm like,
yeah,
right, I'm not using this stuff. Gotta get rid of
get
it.
rid of
Make
it.
some room. Yeah,
Yeah.
for new
So
ones.
is that a
Yeah,
camera that you sort of regret selling, do you think? Like we all have
I
little things.
do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah. Okay.
yep, yep.
Cool. So you
Absolutely.
reunited on the desert island with the
Yes.
Minolta Weathermatic 35 millimeter camera. Great. So what is your one, two, three, four, fifth choice?
Okay. All right. So this one, and I was thinking of like shooting underwater with it. It's a film. So it's a film soup by Hannah Logital.
Oh,
Hannah,
I've never heard of this. Tell me about it.
I think I'm saying that right. Hannah Logital
Yeah.
is So there's a person in Germany, I believe, and
Yeah.
they make film soup films
Yeah.
with, I believe it's Kodak Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they do like a seasonal, they use like seasonal things like plants and flowers
Oh,
and like
nice.
different ingredients. Yeah, and so they soup the film, and it looks so cool. So it's like it's got all these like waves of like different colors, and
Yeah.
it's again going back to like the really kind of like trippy psychedelic
Yeah.
vibes.
For sure.
I've never done any of those, like, so, but but
And
I
so
like the
what
colors.
so when I just googled film soup Hanalogical and I spelt it wrong, but your video come up as the first result, which is great. Woohoo! Trying Hannah Logital's film soup, and you look like you're at some kind of fair or something in the preview
Yes.
there with the little camera there. Nice. And tell me about it. Do you have to? Can you send it to a lab? Like I know with normal, if you soup your own film, you can't really send it to a lab unless you tell them because it'll screw up all the chemicals. So what about this one?
Yep.
Can you send it to normally to a lab or?
Not normally. And you definitely, if you're thinking about possibly sending it to a lab, you got to ask them first.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to ask them. And also, I think it was said, I can't remember where I found this, but someone was saying, um, put it in a camera. I mean, the Hanological film soups, like she's got a pretty good system
yeah,
down, and like the film should be dry.
yeah,
But sometimes, sometimes when you do film soup, it might not be dry all the way, so
yeah.
you got to put it in a camera that you're not worried about ruining.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And what? But
So
you, the camera
yeah.
you've chosen here looks pretty fancy. What camera was that?
Oh, the Fed 2.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it looks like a bit of a I was about to say it looks like a bit of a tank. So, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
awesome.
beautiful camera.
Great. And how many rolls of that, Halogital film soup have you shot?
So I've shot so far 3. Oh no,
Awesome.
4.
Yeah.
But some of them actually, so they do Logical also does pre-exposed films.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So along the
So
likes
I've
of Double and those other people who do those kind of ones?
something like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And my favorite one, I think is called bokeh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it
And
like
it's like
swells
little
or something in
bubbles
the
of
back?
light.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's so
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've tried opal, which is really nice. And then the one I like that I would bring, it's like summer, I think it was summer 2022.
Yeah.
So they do different every season they do like a fresh batch
Yeah.
of like that season's seasonal ingredients. I feel like I'm saying
Awesome.
season a lot. But yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. Excellent. So that's number 5, is that right? I've lost track
Yes.
of the numbers. Yeah. Excellent. So what's number 6?
Okay. All right. So number 6 is double film Apollo. So
Oh, another one I have never used. Tell me about
yeah.
that one.
Okay. So double film, they do some like color effects on their film, right? So Apollo is very kind of like purpley brown, yellowish,
Yeah.
sort of like tones on the image. I actually did a video on it in Cardiff as well. Um, but I would love to shoot it because I kind of shot it on an urban landscape on a cloudy day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I would love to shoot it on like a desert island. I feel like it
Yeah.
would be really, really good for there. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's like cool color tone.
it does very sort of warm. I'm looking at the images now on Double Film website, and there's a nice one of some kind of flamingo kind of boat that you go in the ocean with, and there's
Oh
a
yeah.
car, and yeah, it does look very warm tones to it, and yeah, I think it would
Yep.
definitely suit the desert island. So that's great. I actually have, I think, pretty sure I've got a couple of rolls of double film in my fridge that have been there for, I reckon, 3 or 4 years. So I probably should get them out as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, honestly, I've got a backlog of so many things I need to shoot, and then, but then do you find that like you go through a phase, right? I'm going to shoot all this camera and I'm going to shoot all these films, but then you've got a backlog of things you need to
Mm,
review. And then you're like, then 6 months later, you go, oh, I shot that film in that camera and I've never done a review of it. Do you find you have a bit of a backlog with stuff or?
absolutely, absolutely. And there's always seems to be like new stuff to test out and like
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
So and like yeah, I'm actually like I'm not that far behind. I'm trying to catch up now because I've got
Yeah.
like there's so many different cool films you can try.
Yeah.
Um like I've had this film Snow Blocks. Do you know it by like Revlog?
Yes. I've shot Revlog before. I don't think that one though.
Yeah, so but it's like it's pre-exposed to look like snow on the image.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I've had that like, and I've been waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of things like that, like really creative films or cameras and stuff
Yeah.
to get through.
Yeah.
And when you're making videos on it, like as you know, doing it for YouTube,
Yeah.
it takes that's like a lot more time, a lot more to get through um, for each thing.
And that's the
Yeah,
thing, like sometimes I'll shoot a film and I'll think, oh, I made a mistake with it, or I didn't realize it would look exactly like that. I want to shoot another roll of it before I do a review because I don't feel like I've got enough good shots.
yeah,
So then you've done it, but then I've got to buy another roll. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's all this kind of, sometimes you sort of doubt yourself and I'm not going to give it a good review if I just go on these pictures. Um, I mean, one thing is with me, I think I've got about sort of 40 or 50 video ideas, either things I've already shot or things I could shoot very easily by going to my fridge and going to my camera shelf. How many video ideas do you have at any one time?
oh gosh, it's like, and I mean, it's just basically like what's in the fridge, what's on my shelf,
Yeah.
what's coming out, like what do I want to buy? Because then also like there's a backlog in things that I want to like because film, I've got like a budget for it,
Yeah.
so and it's like, all right, well, I can't get, I've just got all this stuff, so I'll have to wait to get this stuff like next month.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like everything is an idea. So I probably like I don't know. At one time, I mean, I usually have like 6 or so videos like in progress at once.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like beyond that, there's like, I don't know, like 30 ideas, like
Yeah.
potentials.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can get pretty like overwhelming, especially if you get busy with like other things in life, and then you kind of don't have as much time to get to that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, but
I
it's
was
good. It's
talking,
all good stuff. Like yeah,
yeah. I was talking to Dave about this, Dave Mahali, the old camera guy, when I
yeah,
interviewed him. And like, I kind of go into something going, right, I'm going to take lots of B-roll because I've got this video idea. But then when I look back at the footage I took, I'm like, I said the wrong thing on camera and I can't use that because
mm,
that's not so I kind of then become tortured with, how do I, like, I might just do a voiceover. Should put some B-roll in there and I'll do a voiceover but it becomes this whole art form of how do you introduce this topic with the footage that you managed to take on the day and the photos you got. And yeah, it can be a real, and like I usually
yeah,
have, like you, I have
yeah.
five. I think I've got about 4 videos in Premiere Pro at the moment, anywhere from
Oh yeah,
10% to 80%. And the 80%
yeah,
ones, I'm like, oh, I just want to finish this. This is so annoying, but I haven't been able to
yep,
finish it off just yet. So
yep.
cool. So I will ask you towards the end, after we do our desert island stuff, I'll ask you a bit more about your channel and plans for the coming year. But I think are we up to slot number 7? Is that right? Or
Yes. Okay.
okay.
Okay. And I'm really excited about this one. And I do. It is show and tell. So this is the Lomo Instant. Wait, hold on. Make sure I'm saying it right. The Lomo Instant Square Glass.
I have seen this
So
in a recent video you shot.
yes. So it actually, for the YouTube people who can see this, it like pops out.
It's pretty
So
cool, eh?
it's yeah. It's so it folds in super thin,
Yeah.
and then to actually shoot it, it kind of. I'm looking at my screen, making sure I'm showing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's probably
Yeah.
how many, I don't know, what's that, about 6-8 inches? It goes from being quite a couple inches thick to like 6-8 inches coming out pretty much. That sounds really weird when I'm
Oh
talking.
yeah, yeah. So
But
yeah, yeah,
that it does go from super slim to this extended lens, similar to how the Mint camera also does that. The Mint's
yes.
RF70, which I recently just sold. So
Oh,
tell
did
me,
you?
yes, I sold it. I wasn't using it, and it's a rangefinder. Is that a rangefinder or is that like a scale focus?
No, this is a scale focus. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So the Mint
Yep.
one's a rangefinder, and with my eyes, I never, when I bought the camera, the Mint RF70, great camera, but I never used to wear glasses. And now that
Yeah.
my glasses, I can't even see without these anymore. It just wasn't fun, so I sold it. I was a bit sad about selling it. But tell me about that camera. Like I watched the video. You went around a very picturesque town. It looked very like it
Yes.
looked almost English. The town you went around.
Yeah. Well, it's called Portsmouth,
Yeah.
which is
Wow.
an English
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an older American colonial town,
Mm,
and so everywhere you go, there's just these incredibly preserved colonial houses and
yeah.
buildings, and it's just gorgeous. And it's right on the ocean,
Yeah.
so there's like a harbor, and there's like seaside restaurants, and it's got really good like seafood.
Yep.
Uh, so it's a really cool place.
Looked pretty chilly.
It was cold, yeah. Yep. Yeah. So in New Hampshire, it can probably get, I think it was maybe like, we're in like 20s and 30s now, like
Yeah.
Fahrenheit, which
Yeah.
is like,
Bit
what,
above freezing, is it?
zero?
Was
About
about
freezing,
freezing? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think so, yeah. So,
And so one thing I was really curious to learn while watching the video you shot with that Lomo camera, the instant one, is it called Lomo Instant Square? Is that the name of the camera?
yeah, it's like, it's the Lomo Instant Square glass?
Okay, yeah, because it's got a
But
glass lens.
yeah, I just call it Lomo Instant Square, or the Lomo
Yeah,
Square.
it's better.
Yeah.
It comes off the tongue a bit better. So the one thing, the trick, the extending lens, going from super slim to having the lens extended, that's not its best trick though. It's got a better trick than that, hasn't it? It takes two
So
different
it
types
has
of
a
film.
yes.
How
Yes.
cool is that?
Yeah, so it takes Instax Mini and Instax Square, which is awesome.
Yeah,
And I wish
and
it took Instax Wide, because that would
yeah,
be like, yeah.
yeah. And which one do you tend to shoot more in it?
Oh, definitely the Square,
Yeah,
because it's easier to frame.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, the mini is a little bit hard. It's a little bit more awkward to get the right framing. I mean, you can
yeah,
still do it, and
yeah. You got
it'll still
less
be
room
fine.
to sort of play with, and yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, are we up to? Was that number 7?
Yeah, but my my number 8 is the it goes with this.
Square film. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be the square film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. That's brilliant. So
Yeah.
they are excellent choices so far. And so now we're going to roll on to your photography book.
Yes.
Something to
Okay,
keep
all
you
right.
company on the desert island.
Yes. And I'm really excited about this one. So, I'm sorry I don't have it for show and tell because I left it in Wales. I need to go back and get it. But it's women street photographers,
Yeah,
and it was compiled by Golnara Salmenyova. I feel like I always pronounce her name wrong, so
yeah,
yeah. And it's a collection of a bunch of different um, women street photographers
yeah.
and their work. So like everybody has, yeah. If you're looking it up, it's
I am.
like everybody kind of has like a page, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
this
like
is
bright
some.
orange, yeah.
Yeah. So this is an ongoing. So there is. Is this an ongoing project? By the look of it.
Yeah, so they started out with, it's kind of like a, I don't know what the right word for it is, like a collective or a
Yeah.
group or or an organization that kind of like supports or educates or inspires all around the idea of women street photographers. So they're, I think Gulnara is based in New York
Hmm.
City, I believe. But then they made a book of sort of like all their, I don't know if I want to say members because I don't think it's not like a club. It's like I don't really know how to. You could probably describe it
Yeah.
better from the web page you're looking.
Yeah, it just is a platform of well-curated quality street photography by women worldwide. And if you put women street photographers in Google, it's a number one thing, is links there to buy a copy of their book. But I think when you go onto it, the website, the first thing it says is there's an exhibition and there's a deadline, February
Yeah.
12th, which is a couple of days' time. So yeah, wow, interesting. I did not know about this. There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, they always do exhibitions. And yeah, so that book, so I love street photography. So I was thinking, all right, well I can't do street photography on the island. So,
Yeah,
so I'll have something to sort of, keep me like have that part still there.
inspired and yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's brilliant. So then what is, let's talk about street photography. 'Cause I know
Oh
you've
yeah.
done like you've done quite a few travel videos, and I think you've been to sort of the form of what we used to call Eastern Europe, and you've been to Portugal
Yep.
and other places, and obviously places around the UK. Where is your, would you say, see, I would have thought that those photos that I've seen are more as more travel photos, but do you see them more as street or a combination of both or
Well, so actually, and I don't know if I should say this. No, it'll be fine. But I've done most of my street photography on digital. So I haven't actually shown
it's like
a
it's
lot of
okay
my.
where
Yeah.
all photography is welcome at Matt Loves Cameras. It's cool.
Great, great, great. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's what I like about you, Matt. You don't judge.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, so I've done most of it on digital, so I haven't actually shared a lot of that on the film stuff in the YouTube channel,
Yeah,
except for the Krakow, Poland video I shared like at the end.
yeah,
But most of the film shots, yeah, I would definitely say most of the film stuff is more travel, less street. Still a little
yeah,
bit of street,
yeah.
but yeah, more travel.
So
Um,
that's the thing I love about travel photography is it does incorporate cityscape, landscape,
yes,
street, food, and, you can everything. You can sort of encapsulate everything, can't it? Um, Interesting that like what would happen, do you think? Would the universe implode, for example, on on a channel like yours, which is all about film photography and proudly so? What if you did a video about digital photography? How do you think? What do you think your
ooh.
viewers? Do you think there'll be pitchforks coming after you, Molly, or
Well, I okay. I think some of them probably yes. But the ones that I know, no.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah. I think a lot of people are also shoot digital,
yeah,
shoot mirrorless. A
yeah,
lot of people I've like chatted to, talked to, everyone kind of shoots a little bit of both.
yeah,
Um, so well, I'm sure there will be like one or two people with
yeah.
pitchforks and
Sell
stuff
out.
being like,
Yeah,
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 oh, come on.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but I think that most most of like the people that I love to like talk to and
Yeah.
interact with that watch the videos, they're just so nice and chill, and they're like, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you get it, you know, you got to shoot
Yeah.
some digital to offset the cost sometimes,
Yeah. I mean,
especially in street photography.
for sure. Yeah. And then shots you taken against the ones you love and the ones that didn't turn out. I
Yeah.
remember listening to Mike Gutterman once on his Neg Pos podcast. And I think he was talking about digital shooters, I think it was. And he was talking about digital shooters who get all angry about film. As why would I bother
Yeah.
doing that? But I think he sort of raised the point. How could you be interested in photography and then there's a whole thing over here? Oh no, I hate that. I don't want to do like it is.
Yeah.
It kind of it is a bit weird, isn't it? Like, I mean, I have no interest personally in say the wet plates because I just have no patience for that personally.
Yeah.
I think it's great, whoever does it, brilliant. But yeah, there are things definitely I lean more towards. So the one thing I do think that is good about having a channel like yours. I mean, mine is a mixed channel. It's a lot of most of it's film, but there's the odd bit of digital on there. Yours is all film. I think in a way, if you have a channel about one thing, it's easier to sort of pitch it to people. Whereas
Yeah.
mine, they might come and go, this guy shoots film and he's also got something about the Ricoh GR3 digital camera. And so do you think, is that why you've kept your channel mostly to film, just because it fits neatly and people will be looking for that and they know what they're going to get? Or do you think one day you might branch out and do other things on there?
I mean, yeah. So I would definitely keep it open, like to do different stuff. I do think, I mean, I've gone back and forth on this loads. Like, you know, should I do some digital stuff? Should I not do just some digital stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of ended up shooting less and less and less digital anyways. So I kind of, now that I mean, my channel is all film, but now I'm kind of all film
Yeah.
the way that I've gone. Because when I left the UK, I sold my last digital camera, and I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah. So I was like, I'm not doing any more like fashion or portrait shoots, or
Yeah.
because I used to do like some weddings and like concerts.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I'm gonna just take a break from that for now. But I would do it in the future.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be hard though, because most people are looking for the film stuff.
Mm.
But I don't I go, oh my gosh, this is I could talk for an hour on this. Because you don't want to be, if you like doing multiple things, like I like your channel because you do both. So you've got that variety.
Yeah.
And you always keep it like, you keep it the way that you do things, like the matte style. So, so you could do any, like, okay, certain channels. Okay, like for example, like for yours, because I love your channel. Like you could do anything, and I would probably I would watch the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Okay.
depends. Anything is a big thing. No,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Stuff about cricket, maybe you draw the line, but anything
yeah. Maybe
photography
not.
related
Yeah,
or camera, you'd be all right. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, or like travel related. Like if you did a
Yeah.
travel video with no cameras and stuff, I would still watch it. Because like you're a good presenter, and I like your
Oh,
style,
thank you.
and I like you. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't have that connection with the channel,
Yeah.
you wouldn't watch that if somebody did something different.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard. Like, you know, you know how people post polls all the time, like, hey, if I did this other kind of content, would
Yeah.
you still want it or watch it? And most of the responses are like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, we'll
Yeah.
still be here.
Yeah.
Um, but that's like your core kind of group, right? The
Yeah,
people that
I
really
think there's
like, yeah,
definitely you have a core audience that watch you all the time, and then there's people who'll just literally come in from Google or somewhere else and
yeah,
find you for one
yeah,
video, and they might subscribe because they like you, they might not. It's difficult. Hey, it's difficult, and this is the thing when you. I just do videos about the stuff I love. So I love digital, I love film, but I'm completely aware of the fact that I'm not really doing YouTube very well because all the people sort of niche down and like, there's people on say, Olympus. I've got this Olympus digital camera. And if you go on the Facebook groups for that, people will say, go to Robin Wong. Robin Wong's a great, and he is,
oh
he's
yes,
a really
yes,
good,
he is,
he's
yeah,
got a
he's
great channel,
great,
but
yeah,
I think he mostly does stuff about that one brand. I could be completely
yep,
wrong. I've only watched a few of his videos, but there are people who do they just do stuff about Fujifilm. They just do stuff about,
yep,
this or that or the other. So it's interesting that I think a lot of those really, really popular channels do have this niche they sort of stick to, perhaps. And I feel like I kind of do YouTube wrong, but I just do it because I like it.
yeah, exactly. And that's like, it depends on how like why you want to do it, right? So if you're doing
Yeah,
it because you like it, then do whatever you want.
that's the best reason, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you should do it because if you should do it because you like it. Wait, hold on. I don't know if my grammar's right.
No, I think that makes sense.
It's clearly I'm getting a little tired. um, if you don't like it, I mean, it takes so much time to do
Yeah.
a video. Like if you don't like it, that's going to be a rough going.
Have you
So
ever
yeah.
made a video and then just canned it? Went, no, I hate that. I don't want to put that out.
Oh. Um, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, I look back at my first videos
Yeah.
and they're awful. So,
No, they're
but
not. They're
I
not. That's the funny thing is,
they are.
I think they're awful too when we look back at our own videos. But other people was like, oh, it's Molly. Like Molly's talking about X, Y, Z. It's cool. Like, but then you look
Well,
back at
I'm glad that's
yourself.
what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a good. Have you ever done one and then binned it?
Yeah, well, the first one I ever did, I binned. So the first one I ever did was the Fujifilm GA645 medium format camera,
Oh yeah.
and because I did it, hated it, binned it, and then I think I published it about 6 months ago. I found it again in Premiere Pro, and I'm like, I've done like 80% of the work, and the photos are
Yeah.
good. Like my presenting's crap, but the photos are good. I'm just going to put it out. So it's actually, I think it's coming up to 1,000 views. So I think it's a camera that people search for. So hopefully
Yeah.
someone somewhere will get some good info out of it. So yeah, we'll talk about more about your channel a bit more in a bit, but because we've got one more thing to round off
Yes,
for
yes.
the
And
desert island, and that is the 10th luxury item.
okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna have to show this to you. Now I don't have it, but I found it. But this was the most luxury thing I could think of. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
Ooh.
a camera bag
No
made
way.
by Louis Vuitton, I think.
Wow. Yeah. So it looks like
And
a regular 8 sort of camera, like, or is
yep,
it a 16 camera? Or yeah,
I
that's what it
don't.
looks like.
It either looks like a really big, right? Did you say Super 8 camera?
Yeah, yeah, it
Um,
does look like a Super 8 or a regular 8, or but then I don't know my vintage movie camera, so it could be a
I don't know.
16 millimeter camera, or yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Well,
them very well, but yeah.
that's
But
amazing.
actually,
I never seen that before.
so it has a camera on the inside of the bag
Really?
in that camera attachment, and it
Yeah.
connects to your phone.
No way.
Yeah, and so you can actually take video with it.
Oh my gosh. So is this a new thing, or has this been out a while, or
No, so okay, so when I was reading the article, I think the article came out last summer.
yeah,
And I can't believe I haven't seen this before. Yeah, Louis Vuitton
yeah.
with Kids Super, ingenious camera bag, a camera functions, and a handbag. Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah, but I can't believe I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Because
So
that's
what
so
you
cool.
it is very cool. You might get a bit of sand in it though on the desert island.
That's all right.
That's all right. You can hoover it out when you get
Louis can
back.
handle a bit of
That's
sand.
right. Excellent. So that's a very good 10th item. And what I love about this is like both you and Theo, the two I've done so far, both completely different stuff that I would never have thought of in some cases. So it's really interesting to talk to people and get their take on this. So thank you so much for doing that. I've really enjoyed listening to your 10 desert island items. Would you like to repeat them all? If you've got a list there, could you please
Oh
repeat them
yes.
all back, 1 to 10?
All right, so let me pull up my list. All right, so 1 to 10. 1 was the Rolleiflex MX, and then 2 and 3 were Lomography Purple and Turquoise in 120 for the Rolleiflex. Number 4 was the Minolta Weathermatic 35 millimeter version with 5 and 6 Hannah Logitals film suit film summer 2022 and double film Apollo, and then 7 and 8 Lomo instant square glass with the instant square film. Oh, I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. I'll put a pin in this and then come back. So so 9 was the Women's Street Photographers book, and 10 was the Louis Vuitton movie camera handbag slash camera.
Very cool.
So on the instant square film, I was gonna ask you if this was a cheat, but I was gonna say, can I bring 100 pack
Yeah.
instead of a regular 20 pack?
Oh yeah, I think it's a given that whatever film you bring, you get like as much as you can shoot. You
Oh,
could bring yeah, yeah. And also you haven't got to
oh,
worry about development and scanning as well. That's all like taken care of by some
yes.
magic thing on the
Yeah.
island. So yeah, so you can bring
Yeah.
as much film as you want. Like you just have to say the name of the brand of the film. So that's cool.
Ah,
You bring a
gotcha.
1,000
Okay.
pack of Instax Square.
Yes.
Keep you
Yes.
happy. Keep you shooting.
10,000 pack.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. Thanks so
So
much, Matt. I mean, that's such a fun idea.
yeah, so I'm happy to do this with a few more people just to see what other people, yeah, how they take on it. But I'm really really privileged and happy to have you on here as the second person doing this, Molly. Actually, I think you were not the first. I've been trying to track you down for a while.
Yeah, I know. I think we had, yeah, we were gonna do it before, but then
Yes, we
then we
were.
had
That's
to
right. Sorry.
reschedule.
We had to reschedule. That was my fault. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've just got a couple more questions. I know it's getting late there, but I've got a couple more questions. If you
Oh
got
no,
another
that's
five
all
minutes, is
right.
that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you
Fantastic.
could have another 30 if you wanted.
Excellent. Okay.
And then I'll probably be in bed.
Yes. So your channel is doing really well at the moment. You're closing in on 4,000 subscriptions to your YouTube channel, Eclectachrome. Tell us about the name Eclectachrome, and also tell us about, do you have any special plans for 2024 for the channel?
Oh, okay. All right. So the name, I know it's like hard to say and spell, but I was trying to think of something unique because like
Yeah.
Molly. So my name's Molly Kate, and it's taken by like 5 different Molly Kates that are also photographers.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, I gotta have something different that people can just Google one thing and it'll pop up. So I was thinking for like ages and like nothing was coming, nothing was working. I tried like loads of different things. One of my friends was like, he laughed because I'll change my Instagram handle. Like, I used to change my Instagram handle every like 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, this is going back like quite a few years. And then one day, I think I was looking at something for Ectachrome, and
Yes.
I was like, oh well, I'm pretty like eclectic. Like, I love doing loads of different things, and I wanted to make it like more general, like so that I could do loads of different things and not have like a name like Rolleiflex
Yeah, and ties you
YouTube
into that one
channel.
thing, and
Yeah.
then yeah, you want to shoot a Hasselblad, and well, no, the
Yeah, yeah.
conflicts. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, what are the Rolleiflex people gonna think?
yeah.
Yeah. So then it just kind of just popped in like Eclectachrome. And so that's kind of where that came
Excellent.
from.
Real.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, 2024 plans. Okay. So I need to finish the Frugal Film Project for
Yes.
2024.
Yes. What?
I
Remind me
need
what
to
you're
finish
shooting
it.
again.
Oh, so I'm shooting the Holga
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
GCFN. Yep. Yep.
yeah. With
Yep.
black and white
And
film, are you?
Kodak Gold.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a few Holger shooters in the group. Is that right?
Yes.
From memory, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
Yep.
someone's and they were black and white, but yes, no, I remember yours. Yours were really nice. Yours were really cool. You had a very sort of goldeny dark kind of thing going on with your January
Oh,
photos, didn't you?
yeah, the arcade.
Yes, yeah, yeah, they were really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah, that was
Oh, thank
great.
you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought they came out really fast, but
No,
but
they,
that
they looked
one, the
really cool.
one.
Like I think there's almost a thing with the frugal. A lot of the people in the Frugal Film Project now. I think it's almost like also a frugal slash toy camera group because
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm using the Olympus Stylus Epic, but I'm
Yep.
actually only 1 month to, or 2 months in almost. I'm kind of regretting using it. I wish I used something a bit weirder because
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I don't
Well, I
think
mean,
my
if it breaks, you
yeah.
could
Well, let's
you
hope not.
could
It's worth a lot. It's
switch.
worth a few bobs, so I don't want to break it. But yeah, but yeah, I look around like I've got this other. Someone's actually using one of these. But I said to myself, this is a super
Oh,
sampler.
cool.
It takes the 4 photos side by side, and someone
Yeah.
else in the group's using one of these, and I was like, oh, I almost used this, and I didn't. I thought 12 months, will I get sick of it? Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, you've got the amazing Holger, and your purple light's gone out in the background.
Oh no. Oh, it went out. It went out. So
It
how
went
long
out.
was that? How long did it last?
I lasted always just under an hour. That's pretty good.
All right, all right. That's all right. That was
Yeah,
full
yeah,
power to zero.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So the Hulk is awesome. It's so
yeah.
much fun.
And which one is
And
your Holger? Is yours is it one of the original OG ones, or is it more recent sort of one with different things going on with it, or because there's so many models, isn't
oh,
there? I'm putting you on the spot here.
yeah. No, no, that's all right. So it's the glass lens one
Oh, sweet.
that has the color flash as well.
Yeah.
And actually, so I have a few things from different people. Like, so there's her name is Analog Katja on Instagram, and she 3D prints Holga accessories. So I have a splitzer from her, and also something where you can use a cable release for the bulb shutter on the Holga. So it's this sort of it's a
Very cool.
GCFM, but then yeah, I've got those like accessories, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And have you done
and
many
I'm
long exposures with the Holger yet, or?
not yet, so I'm saving that for like a later month.
Yeah.
But this month I did do so for February. I did some of the Splitzer, and I need to develop it, but I'm
Yeah, they've
hoping
got
it
a
comes out okay.
I'm just looking at the photos here that you posted in the Frugal Film Project 24 group, and of course you've also got a video on your channel. Yeah, there's a real like retro. Obviously, they're taking the arcade some of them, but you got it's a very sort of goldeny brown kind of rich feel to the ones without the flash, which looks super cool. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, very nice. Brilliant. And yeah, I feel like with my I'm using Color Plus, but I feel like I might try and I see there's no ISO in the Olympus Stylus Epic. I can't change the ISO on it, but I feel like I
Oh,
want to somehow
okay.
put a DX sticker on it and maybe shoot it at
Yeah.
800 for some night shots and just do something. I want to do something a bit different with it because it takes great photos, but I just feel like they're boring. Like compared to everyone else's, we've got these amazing kind of, you know, toy camera vibes and retro feels and long exposures and intentional camera movement. I'm just getting bogs down to pictures out of this. So I
Oh,
feel like
that's
I got to mix it up a bit. So yeah.
yeah, I mean the DX code sticker would be amazing to do like different things and
Have you mucked around with the Xcode stickers at all? Or?
no, so
Mhm.
I've gotten some from some of like the respool films
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
give them to you like extra.
Yeah.
But I've never actually put one on something that was
That's
different, which would
yeah.
be really cool to see.
I've done it, but I found it hard to get it in the right spot because if you don't get it in the right spot,
Mm.
you could be wasting a
Oh
roll of
yeah.
film. And
Okay.
luckily, I have one of my cameras, my Natura. It'll actually, if you put a 1600 sticker on it and you put it in the camera, a little thing will flash up so you know you've done it right.
Oh
Um,
nice.
so, but I don't have that luxury, so I could put a 1600 sticker on this, the Stylus
Hmm.
Epic, and then shoot it. Ask the lab to push it 2 stops, and if I haven't put the DX sticker on properly, it'll
Yeah.
be completely overexposed. So I've got to try and figure out a way to somehow do something cool with this Stylus
Oh
Epic.
gosh.
So yeah,
Yeah, or like does it have any does the lens can you put any filters on it or does
the
it
lens goes in and out when it focuses.
okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of it's one of those quandaries I found myself in because it's it's this point and shoot that a lot of people want, and so I think people are going to expect some banging photos, but so far they're just pretty bog standard. So I feel like I've
Oh no,
dug my own grave here, like with these fine pictures that look fine but are just a bit boring. So yeah, so
I mean,
for,
I thought they were great. Like, so that was didn't you go somewhere for that to an
yeah, we went
island?
to North Stradbroke Island, which is the same place where I
Yeah.
shot the Turquoise review a year back, and I also shot a roll of FK 25 there, and
Oh, I
which
don't.
Alex Lux from the classic camera revival very kindly processed and scanned for me because
Yeah,
it's
I haven't heard of that.
yeah, so FK is like a Croatian film, I think it is.
Oh,
And so
cool.
this was a really out of date film. So yeah, I've shot a few rolls of film, but the ones I shot with the stylus were yeah the typical beach scenes and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, we're both hoping to get through the Frugal Film
Yeah.
Project unscathed this year. Is there anything else you got lined up on the Eclectachrome YouTube channel?
uh oh, okay, wait. So yeah, so there's one thing there's a few things
Yeah.
I got recently. So I'm very soon coming out with like some ECN2 developing
Oh
kit from Flick Film.
yeah.
So I'm reviewing that, and then there's some film from Portugal cinema. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
yes. So I'm
I'll be
looking
shooting
forward.
some of their film as well. Are you shooting some of
Yeah,
those?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. And then also someone from Australia who was very nice sent me this.
Oh, hooray!
So Speed 400.
Speed 400, yeah, which is ag
So
traffic film.
and I've got so actually that person was you, obviously, for the people who let me explain. I should explain myself. And I'm saving the candy that you got me for a special because I'm trying not to have sugar, but
Oh,
that's for
that's
this
completely
weekend.
understandable. The Australian candy may have hopefully it arrived okay. The Japanese candy is for novelty value only, because it's like, here is one of the things I sent you, which is, oh, you can't actually see because my screen's blurred, but it's actually, it's like a camera sweets. Why isn't, there we go.
Yeah.
It's a camera looking sweet. They are rock hard. Almost broke my teeth on them when I thought they were like Skittles or something, and I put one in my
Yeah.
mouth and almost had to book a trip to the emergency dentist.
Oh
So
gosh.
it's for novelty value mainly, I think. Excellent. So you've got quite a few things coming up on your channel. Is there anything, any other projects you'll be doing, or any other kind of,
um,
things you're
so
looking
I'm
forward
gonna,
to?
yeah, I'm also gonna try to do the new like 12 months on
Yes,
film
I've seen that as
project
well.
that came
Yeah,
out. Yep,
yeah.
yep. Yeah, which is it's a different, you shoot a different camera and a different film every month, I think it is.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try and do that because I do that any I do that anyways. I shoot a lot anyways.
Same.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's actually run by the same person who does the hologram accessories.
Oh, very
The
cool.
analog
Did not know
kacha.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I
So
think
what's the deal with that? Like, do we have to get our results out by a certain, like, if I've already done that for January, I suppose. Oh, it's only the 10th of February, isn't it? I'm thinking it's like the end of February. It's the 10th of
yeah.
February. So okay, we've still got time to do January
We
then
just
for the
yeah,
12 months
yeah.
on film. Okay, good, good. You haven't done a video on that yet, have you? Or
No, no.
yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to do videos on those just cuz there's like so
yeah,
many videos to do.
yeah.
I also want to review the Lomography Digitalizer.
Oh
So
yeah.
I got that to review. So there's like so much.
Is that the scanning
um
thing?
yep.
Yeah,
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 so
I've
the
got one. Yeah.
with your
Actually, I've got two. I've
phone,
got the
yeah.
110 one, and
Oh,
I've got the
nice.
35 mil one for scanning sprockets.
Oh,
Because I've got
cool.
a
Okay, yeah.
lomography sprocket rocket up here somewhere, which is
Oh,
a cool
nice.
camera. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those are
excellent.
so cool. I would love to shoot one of those.
Yeah, yeah. It's a funny thing. I bought it for a competition I ran on my podcast, and I don't think I don't think I've used it since, which is pretty bad. But what about your other plans? So are you still running for 35 mmc?
Yeah, so I think I might take a little bit of a break at the moment. So but still I have been still writing for them.
Very
Still
prolific
doing the
in
news.
recent years. Yeah,
What's that?
you've been very prolific in recent years running for
Yeah.
35 mmc.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I mean they're like shorter articles like news stuff, but that's what I like.
Yeah,
Like short and sweet. And it's been a lot of fun getting to know like new things that are coming out and talking to people who are like creating new things. Like there's so many people making cool stuff in just the film photography niche
yeah,
or the alternative photography like if it's not film, it's like cyanotypes or
yeah.
like that kind of stuff. So I mean that's been cool. And doing the news videos on the YouTube channel. It's yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Excellent.
But yeah.
And a question that I asked Dave Mahaly, and I don't think I asked Theo this, but got a couple, hopefully this year we'll have a couple of new 35 millimeter cameras coming out. We've got the
Oh.
Pentax Ricoh one and the Mint one. Do you see yourself, shelling out some of your hard-earned money for either of those? Well, there's too many
No.
cameras in the back catalog waiting for you.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it'll depend.
Yeah,
I'm kind of down, like I'm kind of getting more into like the cheaper end of
yeah,
cameras.
yeah,
And like more instant, getting more into like instant stuff
yeah,
as well. So like I kind of want to try some Polaroid
yeah. I was about to
cameras.
ask you about
Yeah.
that. Have you done much Polaroid before? Because I can't remember you.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so all Instax. So I've had like the Instax Mini for ages,
yeah.
Instax Square and Wide, but I've never shot Polaroid, which I know you love Polaroid,
I love
right?
Polaroid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually. I did a big order of it probably almost 2 years ago now,
Mm,
like 20, 30 boxes, and I've still got half of that in my fridge. So I hope
okay.
it's chilling nicely, and they all turn out. Hang on, I'll grab some here. So like here's my daughter. Oh, you can't see how
Oh,
stupid glare in the back. There's my daughter, beautiful
oh, there you
daughter.
go. Yeah.
There's a
Oh, that's a
dog.
nice
This is the
one.
dog at Christmas. Oh, there we go, dog at
No,
Christmas.
there's
So
the
they all turn. Here's
cracker
my wife
crown.
and my son. So
Yeah,
they all
that's
like
cute.
people trash Polaroid film. Like it's not as consistent as
Yeah.
Instax, but I really love Polaroid film. And you're basically in the birthplace, almost kind of in the ballpark
Yes.
of the birthplace of Polaroid, aren't you?
Yes, Edwin Land,
Yeah. So
Boston, Massachusetts.
you should be able to find loads of hopefully, cheapish Polaroid cameras up there in stores maybe, or on Marketplace, or do you think, or have you seen many?
So I've had a look, and I'm not actually sure which one I want to start with first, because like, I mean, there's the SX70, there's like the 600 ones, there's
Yeah.
the Go, the I-type, like there's all these different ones. I'm not, but I do like the SX70. I mean,
Classic.
but yeah, so I'm not sure which one I want to go for, but I haven't the 600 ones. There's loads of deals on eBay. The SX70 not so much though. Those are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah,
But
I think people pay a premium, don't they, for that classic. I mean, it is a beautiful classic camera design. Yeah, I think with the SX70s also, they look like they can work, but quite often there's issues with them, and
mm,
your pictures will turn out completely blue or stuff like that.
yeah,
The 80s 600 ones, like the one step 635, all those 80s big black
yeah,
boxy ones, I've never picked up one. I mean, you can, but I've never personally picked up one. I've probably bought 30 of them, never picked up one that
hmm.
didn't work properly. So that's a really good
Oh,
starting place.
nice.
Yeah, and you can pick them
Okay.
up for like, you should be able to pick them up for 20, 30, $40, probably even
Oh,
less
yeah,
in
yeah,
America.
yeah,
But yeah, they work great as a starter. And then yeah, the
yeah.
SX70 is definitely one, is a classic for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and I like that. So is the XX70, that's the one that you can see through the lens and the focus? You see the focus through the lens?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's a manual
Okay.
focus camera. All the exposure is automatic, and there's a
Yeah.
wheel, and it goes in and out. So that is the classic camera.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
maybe I'll start with the more reliable 600. I don't
Although
I don't
yeah,
know.
I
I
mean,
have
the SX70 does, I think, give better pictures than those other 600 ones. But I guess it
okay.
just depends. When you buy an SX70, are you buying a cheap camera, or are you buying, if it is cheap, are you buying a cheap camera that works, or are you buying a repair bill? Because that's what happened to
Yeah.
me once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm actually oh, okay, so this is a bit crazy, but I'm actually going to, have you heard of Policon?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, you're going to
Yeah.
Falcon. Where
So
is it?
so I'm going to the one in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I'm actually do you know this YouTube channel, Just Another Chris?
Rings a bell, but
It's
enlighten me a
mostly
bit
like
more.
instant,
Yeah.
yeah, mostly instant photography. But so I'm actually going out. I'm like visiting Seattle,
Yeah.
and then because we're gonna go to like Policon
Yeah.
with a bunch of like a couple other people.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of gonna like dip my toes in the Polaroid pool, and
Excellent.
yeah, so and kind of see. I mean, I'll yeah, I know it's expensive, but I don't know. I just it's because I've been doing so much like film photography, like developing and scanning all at
Yeah.
home, and that's a process.
Yeah.
It's nice just to shoot instant sometimes, just to like
Absolutely.
you just get it straight away. It's
Yeah,
so
and you can
nice.
scan it, and you're like done, and the scanning doesn't take long. And yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
brilliant. That's amazing.
yeah,
So when's Polycon? Is it early this year, March or something? Is it, or
yeah. So it's mid. I think it's mid March. But
excellent?
they do a few different ones.
Yeah,
They do one in Texas.
yeah. It's about to say somewhere down in the southwest, isn't there? It's one Austin or
Yeah,
I don't know, somewhere down there. I've heard of one, but yeah. Ah,
yeah,
brilliant,
yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so maybe if you ever come to the States, you can go to a Policon. Would you ever do
I
that,
would
or?
love to. I would love to. I actually almost, that film. Did you hear that film photography Paideia that happened a few years ago?
Oh,
It was this
oh
thing that,
wait.
like, a film photography thing happened at the dark room lab in San Clemente.
Oh,
There was a
yes.
whole load of people went from different, the film photography community. And I
Yeah.
was going to go, I really wanted to go to the follow-up one, which was in early 2020, but um, early
Well,
2020 things kind
yeah.
of fell apart a little. So
Something happened there.
yeah, so it wasn't that good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to come over for one of those things. I'll have to keep that in mind for when I'm visiting North America next time. It's been a long time since I visited North America. So
Yeah, you'll have to do your tour, your Matt Loves Camera tour,
oh, it'll
and
be like
see
a
all
six.
the
So
YouTubers.
it's so big over there. It'll take me months, won't it? And just before we finish up, Molly, obviously you spent quite a bit of time in the UK. Is there anything that, is there any particular food or anything that, or any TV show that you're missing
Oh,
from the UK? You're kind of having withdrawal symptoms from?
yes, yes.
Not EastEnders,
Uh,
is it?
oh no, no, no. Well, oh gosh, what was the? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I mean, just Gogglebox,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gogglebox.
You don't have that in
Yeah.
America?
Well, so I don't have cable at the moment, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've just got like Netflix and
yeah,
like
yeah,
Prime and stuff. But yeah, the TV shows like Gogglebox,
yeah,
that's always fun. They've got some really cool TV shows, but
yeah.
like for food, we used to have so many amazing Indian food places just
Yes.
like down the street,
Yeah,
or like kebab shops, like
yeah,
kebab and pizzas. Like, oh,
yeah.
I just love that kind of. I never had um uh we didn't have many like Indian restaurants growing up
Same.
around like New England. And
Yeah,
then when I went there, so I started trying all of it for the first
yeah,
time, and I just absolutely fell in love. The butter chicken.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Tomato
yeah,
pakoras and all this cool
yeah,
stuff, onion bhajis, and
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'm in a couple of groups, even though I'm Australian. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups here in Australia for British people in Brisbane, and it's
Mm,
funny. One of the
yeah.
most things they whinge about the most is where can I get a good curry, Indian curry
Yes.
here, British curry or Indian curry here in Brisbane. People are like, you can't. Oh, this one's okay, but there's not a patch on it on UK's curries, and so
Yeah.
it's funny. Yeah, and fish and chips is another one. People go, where can I get a decent
Oh,
British
fish
fish
and
and
chips.
chips? Because it's a bit different here in
It's good.
Australia. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have like, so we have really good fish and chips here in New England seacoast,
yeah,
but it is not the same at all because they don't come with like you don't like you know how you can get like curry on the side or like gravy on the side or
yes,
on
yeah,
top. So
yeah,
like, oh, my favorite fish and chips was I know people, not everyone likes this, but like salt and vinegar, of course.
yes,
And then like gravy on the side. Oh,
yeah,
it's so
yeah, yeah. My wife used to have
good.
the fish and chip, like I think it was called chip special or something, and there was yeah, it had curry sauce along with the fish and chips from
Yeah.
her local one.
Yep.
Very very British thing. But here in Australia, when you get fish, you can either get it grilled, battered, or what's the other one? I
Mm.
can't remember. But there's three different ones, a crumbed. And every time we go to the fish and
Oh,
chip shop, my
crumbed.
wife,
Oh.
who's English, goes, crumb
Yeah,
fish. I want
yeah.
crumb fish. I want bloody battered fish. I want crumb fish. So she gets gets a little bit angry about the Australian fish choices. So
Yeah, yeah,
wonderful. Well, it does look like
yeah.
a very picturesque part of the world you live in, Molly. I know that the typical sort of the rugged coasts and the lighthouses and stuff. And you're more up in the mountains, are you, where you live, or?
Yeah, so right now I'm more closer to the like the lakes and the White Mountains
Oh
in New
wow,
Hampshire. Yeah. So it's so
awesome.
mountains and lakes. I mean, it is stunning.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
coming
yeah,
into spring, you'll be sorted for beautiful places to go and take photos, I'd say.
yes, yes. I mean,
Excellent.
it's a little bit of a changeover because I'm so used to being in a city. I've been
Yeah.
in cities for so long. And now I'm more in the country, lakeside. So
Yeah.
it's like, what do I shoot?
Yeah. You can
I'm so
relearn it
used
all.
to shooting. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me today. It was fascinating to hear your desert island cameras list. And can you tell everyone watching or listening where they can find? I mean, I'm sure they already follow you, but if they don't, 'cause I think we have quite a bit of a crossover of audience. But tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, okay. Yes. So Eclectachrome everywhere.
Excellent.
Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok mostly. Oh, and I do a Substack newsletter too, but that's only
Yes.
once a month, and that's quite like very low key. But yeah, so YouTube and Instagram, that's the main places
Yeah, and I think
to
I actually had a look
yeah.
at our like obviously I've got a Substack as well, and I looked at it one day, and there was quite a bit of few people from yours had signed up to mine, and a few people from mine had signed up to yours. So
Yeah.
that was nice to see a bit of cross pollination there of the Substack newsletters.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. Thank you so much, Molly, and I'll chat to you later on. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.